Good evening, I'm Lyndsay Keith, and welcome to Centerpoint on this Wednesday evening. We begin with the FBI in the crosshairs, accused of abuse of power and biased against conservatives. Today, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer released a resolution to hold FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt of Congress for defying a subpoena in his committee's probe of alleged Biden family corruption. The committee will vote on the resolution tomorrow. Ever since the explosive report from Special Counsel John Durham exposed the FBI for overreach, the agency has been on the defensive. Joining us now is Representative Byron Donalds, Republican of Florida, and also an Oversight Committee member. Congressman, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. So, big question here. Will this vote pass committee and ultimately the House?
I believe that this vote will pass committee, and I believe it also will pass the House. And the reasons are very clear. Number one, before we even get into what's happening with the Biden family, every agency of the federal government has a responsibility to respond to requests of information from Congress. James Comer, our chairman on the Oversight Committee, has requested this information from the FBI. The stonewalling that the FBI is doing is a violation, in my view, of separation of powers. The FBI just doesn't have the authority to act on its own volition. They are funded by Congress, which is the people's body. And if the people's representatives are requesting information from the FBI or any other agency, they have a responsibility and a duty to respond. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, we have a major situation going on in our country where the more that the Oversight Committee continues to investigate the practices of Hunter Biden and Jim Biden, and to understand the depths upon which that Joe Biden is involved or at a minimum compromised by those dealings, the people's body, the House of Representatives and the Senate for that matter, have a responsibility to investigate that and have a full understanding of what is going on. Because if the president is making decisions based upon the business dealings of his family, and the only reason these business dealings exist is because of the president's position and frankly, his position being involved in our political structure for 50 years in the United States, that is a major issue that the American people need to be aware of.
So Congressman Comer, the chairman of this committee, he actually saw this document, this FD 1023 on Monday. It was brought to the Hill to look at, but he says that's not good enough. Why is this? Tell our viewers why it's so important for you guys to actually have possession of this document.
Well, because when you're going through the process that we're in, you need to be able to refer back to that document as you go through the other process. That's very key in any investigative practice. So you can't it can't be in the possession of another person and you can't refer to it as you go through your work. What if you come across other information in the future and you want to go back to the document that pointed you in that direction to see if it actually lines up? That's why possession is key. Secondarily, and I'll say again, the FBI, they get funded by Congress. They have a responsibility to respond to Congress. And the Oversight Committee has clear authority on this because it's actually been something that's gone through whether previous rules and laws that have been passed and or previous Supreme Court rulings that the investigative capacity of House oversight is very broad. And that broadness does not end at the FBI.
So the FBI is saying and has said that this is an ongoing investigation, something that Ranking Member Jamie Raskin said wasn't true. We know that now former Attorney General Barr has come out and said it is an ongoing investigation. So that's why the FBI is saying we still need this document. It is a part of our investigation, and they're very concerned, they say, about this informant's life. They say it could be at risk if it becomes leaked or made public. Are you concerned about that this could become leaked and this informant that you all need for your case could be at risk?
Listen, I am concerned about that. Obviously, every human life is sacred, so I am concerned about that. But regardless of whatever else is going on at the FBI, we do have a major political question and, frankly, a major corruption question, in my view, in our country. The president of the United States is making decisions for this country every single day. If his decision-making matrix is compromised because of these business dealings, the American people need to know. And the president has not been forthright. He has not been honest about what he knows. In my view, he's actually lied to the American people repeatedly, saying He doesn't know anything that's going on, and the big media cover for him, and obviously the White House and the Democrats in Congress will cover for him as well. That is wrong. And so when you're dealing with the highest executive, the highest person in our political structure, they should not be shielded from this kind of scrutiny. The American people do deserve the ability to know the facts.
You've mentioned a couple times, and it's true, that you have the power of the purse. Are you planning on using it to hold the FBI accountable?
Well, I'm going to speak for myself in that regard. I'm not going to speak for my colleagues. I definitely believe that we should. We should be looking at that. We should be reviewing every aspect of what the FBI wants to do from a funding perspective. We do want to protect the FBI's ability to do their job, which is investigate crimes and protect the people of the United States. But if you have these offshoot offices within the FBI that are frankly withholding from Congress, and in my view, stopping Congress from doing their Article 1 power duties, which is in part oversight of the dollars that we allow to be spent, then in my view, those offices should no longer exist.
Well, we'll be following this case very closely. Congressman Donalds, appreciate your time this evening.
Anytime.